Hello, this meaning me. My name is Art Williams, and I'm the host of MLM Talk Live. I actually have the domain, but I don't use it. It's just MLM Talk Live. And it's my fault for being such a dummy. Our guest star, Ed Zimbardi, is not here, but that's because I boo-booed on the schedule. But we have a random guest here, Kimberly Henry. And turns out Kimberly has a very interesting background. She's with a company that anybody who knows anything about MLM knows about, and knows that they're a highly respectable company and they do good work, been around a long time. And so we're going to let Kimberly tell us a little bit about her business, her background, and give us some ideas that probably relate to anybody in the MLM industry. So Kimberly, please introduce yourself and just say hello.
Hello. Well, this is it. This is fabulous to be here. I guess it's my lucky break to get in here and have a chance to talk with you, Art. So thanks for that. And I'll just say I've been in the industry, gosh, I want to say 25 years. But the first 5, I was exploring things like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, I'm dating myself, but no-run pantyhose.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
Those. Sure, they were good.
80s.
Yeah.
And I was a distributor for I don't even remember the name of the company, but it was the No Run Pantyhose Company. And that was a tough sell. And I was pretty green at that point in time. But that was my introduction into the world of network marketing. And fast forward a few years, trying a few other things that didn't quite work out for me, I was introduced to the company I'm with now, and that is Melaleuca, back in 1995, yeah. And I didn't come into it thinking I was going to have another business. I came into it because of the products and the philosophy of the company. But over the years, and it's been 20 years now, here we are, 2015, and a lot of you may have this experience, but just by doing a little bit, when you start to see a check coming in every month, month after month after month, while you're doing other things, that's a testament to developing the residual income that a company like Melaleuca has to offer. And then, just stories about how what I have shared with someone has enhanced their lives. Mm-hmm. So I had kind of a breakthrough in the early 2000s. I got a wild hair and I bought a gym.
Wow.
My husband and I bought a brick and mortar gym, and we were running that. And I had gone from working for myself to working in this gym from 7 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, 6 days a week.
Got to be in good shape for that.
And I was working out 10 hours a week, teaching classes and doing a lot of fun stuff. And I don't regret that experience. But what I realized was I wasn't making a lot of money owning the gym. And my business checks from Melaleuca kept coming in every month. And I was paying no attention to that business whatsoever. I came into this brick and mortar business thinking it would be great synergy with my wellness company. And what it found out was it took so much of my time and energy and resources that I couldn't work my business, but yet I was still getting paid. And I thought,
so it's like maybe once a week. I don't know how often they pay, but maybe once a week somebody comes up when you least expect it, and taps you on the shoulder and says, "Oh, here's your check."
Exactly. Exactly. And so I'm like, well, why am I doing this? And so I sold my gym.
What's wrong with this picture? What am I doing here?
So that's kind of my story. And so now I'm really working with a great team, a couple of great teams, and we are moving our business forward. I do coach a lot of people on how to choose a business. There's a lot of great companies out there, but there's a lot of companies that, may not be a really great fit for most people. So I think you have to be very judicious on how you're choosing who you're going to work with, because even though you're working for yourself, you are tying yourself in a partnership with another entity as in any business, you need to be looking very carefully at who you're tying your business to.
Well, it's time you'll never get back. I mean, whether you make any money or not, you got to be, the longer you're in it, you better be sure that you're in it for the long haul, because your long-term objective becomes more relevant, doesn't it?
Sure. Yeah. In the minute you're looking at something like this as a get rich quick, for example, then you've already lost. Mm-hmm. You've already lost, because you might, but you're going to hurt some people in the process, including yourself. Yeah. And that's not going to last. It's not going to sustain. Yeah. You can't have that kind of energy for the long haul.
I would say probably 51% of the damage, even though you have to live with, nobody likes to, in the back of their mind, to hear their subconscious saying, "You big dummy, what'd you do that for? Look at all the friggin' time you wasted. What a dummy." But as you go through life and you spend, it takes time to meet people and develop relationships, and then you realize that there's 4 or 5 people that otherwise would have been real nice people, but you're kind of reluctant to show your face around because of all the quote unquote deals that you had talked to them about and got them into, and they never worked out. And it's too late then.
Right. Yeah, there's damage to repair at that point, and you've just, when customers are your goal or business partners, and you've cut your inventory of those in half. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of customers, Kimberly, how strong is Melaleuca for product sales? Is retail, straight retail, a big factor in Melaleuca, at least compared to other MLM companies?
No. And actually, and I'll just say, because I know that corporate would want me to say that Melaleuca does distinguish itself as a non-MLM. We are not a traditional MLM compensation plan. So I don't want to harp on that too much, but that is, we would, be more like a network marketing. Okay. There's a lot of similarities, and I don't even want to spend time on that.
Okay. But that's a hot issue in the industry right now, retail versus whether you make money from recruiting and stuff like that. And I really respect people who aren't afraid to talk about the benefits of their product. And obviously with your background, you know that your products work too.
Absolutely. And we don't do retail, just to answer your question. We don't retail products at all. We are strictly a referral business. So that's kind of how we're set up.
What do you have? But I guess what I was talking about is it conceivable in your business model that somebody would only want the product and they would be allowed to buy the product without getting all hyped up about the opportunity?
Absolutely. 90% of our people are simply just customers.
Okay. Well, that's good. I think that's good. Hi. Your name's not Pizza. I know that. I've seen your face before.
Yes, Art Williams. My name is Scott Silverstein, and I heard the word Melaleuca, and I thought I'd jump in, to the fray.
Yeah.
Kimberly, are you a Melaleuca marketer?
I am, yeah, for 20 years now.
20 years. You don't find that too often in multi-level marketing, do you? 20 years of persisting with whatever your goals are. What you mind me asking you, what level are you?
I am, I'm just actually getting rolling again with my business. So I am a D3, should be advancing to a D4. Are you familiar with the levels?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. So
Art Williams. Yeah, go ahead, Kimberly. I'm sorry for
I was just going to say, going back to what we were talking about. I've been with them for 20 years. Many of those years simply existing as a customer, and coming back into the business aspect after selling my gym.
Kimberly, right. I'd like to know more about the Melaleuca, the core product and that plant, because I really do believe in alternative medicine, and I really don't like big pharma. Can you tell us and anybody that might see this later about the core, the product foundation of Melaleuca products?
Sure. I'll just tell you that the products, we have over 450. So the foundation of the company is the Melaleuca alternifolia plant, and it has some incredible medicinal properties. You can buy Melaleuca oil or tea tree oil in a lot of different places. There's a lot of credibility and science behind that. When we started, we had 8 products. They all had the tea tree oil in it. They all smelled like tea tree oil. Here we are 30 years later, and we have 450 products that use all kinds of herbals and botanicals and essential oils, depending on the product and the desired performance of that product. We've really branched out into 6 different product lines. And I'm speaking only for myself because I'm not an official corporate person for Melaleuca. The medicinal properties of the Melaleuca alternifolia specifically are that it's antibacterial, it's very penetrating, it's very soothing. It doesn't harm the skin, but it has some incredible healing properties. You can use it for a lot of different benefits, including cleaning and for health, for infections, for inflammation, that sort of thing. So that's kind of how we got our start, but we've really branched out into some incredible products.
And it's an international company. It's pretty much all over the world now, isn't it?
And if I'm not mistaken, we are still the largest direct sales company in North America.
Now you said
I think Avon might be Avon's the only one larger than us.
Hey, Art,
North America.
Art, I would suggest changing your topic to a Melaleuca pitch.
Well, I don't know if I could do that.
That's really not what
I'm hesitant to mess with it right now because then I might lose it. If you think I could, I'd try it, but don't be surprised if I suddenly disappear.
Yeah.
See,
I'm only answering questions, so I'd love to answer more general questions for sure.
I'm
Mr. Pizza. Tell me your name again.
Yeah, my name is Scott Silverstein, and I reside outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I'm searching for the right tool to promote my deal. And one of the things that I found was that when you get into one of these situations, yesterday I got into one, they used the hashtag MLM, and I jumped in and look, the fact is that not many people making it in the MLM industry, and I started talking about my experience with a couple of MLMs that you can't even get them on the phone anymore; they're just gone. And these folks started pitching me on some ketosis deal, and I felt like I was in a sales seminar for this product, and it had nothing to do with the topic, and it made me very uncomfortable. I'm like a millennial. I'm like my kids. Don't sell me. Cut to the chase. Let me make the decision. That's what I love about the millennial generation today. They're straight. They're straight. They want authenticity. And one of the things about blabbing is that it's authentic. It's definitely a platform where I can look you straight in the eye, and I can get your authenticity with respect to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Do you know this lady Tracy that's in the group right now? You can see her picture there, Tracy.
Do I know her?
Yeah. Have you seen her on Blab? She apparently is experienced in the direct sales MLM industry. She's done some other blabs. I think I've seen her once or twice, but I need to catch some of her blabs. But, as far as what you said, Scott, there's a fellow that's a friend of mine. I'm associated with him. And Kimberly, you might find this interesting too. A guy named Tom Prendergast, Pren. I'm going to write it down here. You ever heard of him, Kimberly?
I've heard that name. I can't quite place him, but I know I've heard that name.
Well, he's sort of a techie, but he had a company a few years ago that was around for like 20 years called Veritech, And the way that I would interpret Veritech, it was a tool suite, but it was designed for people in the MLM business or any home-based business. Now, remember that 20 years ago, this was back when SEO was still a big deal. SEO is a different game than it now than it was then. The whole idea about page ranking is more socially key than it is in just keyword spam. And that company was pretty big, and I learned a lot there. And then him and his partner sold the company, and he has another company he's affiliated with in the process of taking over called Market Hive. But one of the things that Market Hive talks about is that the MLM companies of the future are the ones that survive today, are going to be the ones that really appreciate their customers and that they have a product, as Melaleuca does, that people are more than happy, if they understand it, more than happy to purchase the product irrespective of any involvement in the opportunity.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Because if you're marketing, if you have a business of anything, whether it's a service or a particular product, if there's not an audience that's going to buy that with the limited funds that they have based on what's going on in the economy right now, then you don't really have a business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did you make the connection, since you were in the physical, the let's get physical type of business, how did you, can you go through the thought process where you realized that there was a connection between Melaleuca and that industry that you were already involved in? It sounds like an aha moment.
I missed the last part of your question, but I think you're asking about the transition between a regular business or traditional brick and mortar is what I kind of call it versus a network marketing business.
Yes, ma'am.
So I say all the time, I will never, knock on wood, own a traditional brick and mortar business again. And here's why. Because when you do, you're tying up a ton of resources financially, and with the investment of your time in building up your clientele, and you're putting a lot on the line to get that going, for one. Mm-hmm. And then you have to do everything. And there's some value in that. If that's what really pushes your buttons, then great, go out.
Like if you're an artist of some kind, maybe.
Right. Or if you just thrive on spending 60, 80, 90 hours a week running your business and having all your resources tied up. But there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of risk involved with that. Yeah. And you're fighting for your life. That's really what it feels like when you're a small business owner. You're fighting for your life every day. And if you don't feel like getting up someday, or if you're sick, I can't tell you what it feels like. The only thing comparable was when I was a single parent and one of my kids would get sick and I had to go to work and I had a sick and I had a choice, my life or my job. As a business owner, you're making that choice every single day.
I had it.
So
Go ahead.
When I had started my business, my Melaleuca business years before, and so I had a steady residual check coming every month. And when that kept coming in month after month, even though I was not working it, but I was spending 60, 80, 90 hours a week on my traditional business that wasn't paying me anything. Now, let's just get that out there. I was putting so much into it, but it wasn't paying me anything. That I just, why am I doing this? That was my aha moment. I clearly remembered having a check in my hand one day and opening it and going, I didn't do anything for this, yet it still comes to me.
Hey, Kimberly, I got to interrupt you. I can't believe you didn't do anything for a check. I know folks that are in Melaleuca, personally know folks, and people work, and they work hard.
Oh, absolutely. You're right, Scott. It's not that I didn't do anything. It was that I hadn't done anything for months, and I was still getting paid. Months and months. And we're talking, there was probably a 3-year stretch. Actually, let's say a 5-year stretch, because I owned that club for 5 years, that I did not open my mouth to anybody about Melaleuca. but I still continued to get paid every single month based on the work that I had done previously. So that's the difference is, you're investing your time and you can continue to get paid.
That's what I like to call residual income. And residual income is it's like having money in the bank. You get that interest check every month. It's having a bond that pays a good return, and you get a good return on anything. It's worthwhile, in my opinion. And I think that's the essence of succeeding in an MLM. Is you want to go with a deal that's going to yield lasting residual income. So many people jump in, they get hyped in, they jump into some get in on the ground floor kind of opportunity, only to find that in 6 months they're left holding a bag on a corner somewhere.
I can't tell you how I hate that phrase, get in on the ground floor. To me, that's a red flag.
Hey, Art, what kind of work do you do? Are you a networker? Are you a promoter? Are you retired?
Well, Tracy, we're having a problem with you. I'm gonna turn it off and try again in a few minutes. I'm gonna answer Scott's question here.
I have my camera blocked, so that's why you can't see me.
Tracy said she was still in her pajamas. I said, Tracy, come on in. Just turn the camera off.
Well, I'm not a technophile. Should I leave you on, Tracy or Scott? What do you think?
I say leave her. If she has something to say, that's blabbing.
Okay.
Video, audio, what's the difference?
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, to answer your question, Scott, I'm a writer. I mean, I'm not Ernest Hemingway or anything like that, but I write for an MLM magazine. Have been doing it for about 2 years. I am enrolled in a coffee MLM, but I enrolled in it specifically because they are in the process of becoming customer centric. They have a lead program. And I know of one other company, Trivita, that did very well, got really started and survived in the industry because they did late night TV advertising and they sold the leads. These were people who had either already bought or said they were going to buy. And matter of fact, I know a guy made like 10 grand his second month with the company just buying leads. And then I talked to somebody just recently who's on Blab here that still gets a check from Trivita because she was involved in it back in those early days when they had a lead program. Then they cut that program off and then they started it again a year or two ago.
So Art Williams, I'm going to follow you here. We need to have some more conversations regarding your writing. Okay. I love to write.
It's a lot of fun.
I discovered that. I love to write. Mm-hmm. And up until this discovery, I always thought I was a shitty writer, and I never published anything. So, what happened to?
Said here to Kimberly, she left because it says poor internet
she has
quality.
A poor internet connection.
I don't know if that was me or her. Kimberly.
Yeah, there you go.
There she is. Okay.
I'm here, and I have a poor internet quality for you, Art. So
well, it might.
I've had this going on almost. Right. I don't know what's going on, but every blab has been like this.
Right.
I've had some problems my last two. For the first week or so, it was great. So anyway, I'm sorry, but every time I see something like this, it reminds me of the 3 years that I worked offshore, where everything rusts. I mean, you can thoroughly clean something, and 2 days later, it's all covered with rust again. And then it's like in the 4 years where I was in Vietnam, the Vietnam War, where you pick up a phone thinking you were going to call across the base, and you'd wind up talking to an Air Force base in Germany or something like that. So nothing ever works. So I'm used to that. But anyway, so Scott,
I just hopped into the conversation. Is pizza? Are you looking for an opportunity, or is that what you're?
Am I looking for an opportunity? No, I am a network marketer. I have an organization. There's over 250 customers that are happy. I think they're happy. At least this month they're happy. And one of the things that I make a point, I don't like to talk about my specific business deal here in Blab. If you want to talk to me about my particular specific issues, you can get a hold of me. I'm going to give you my contact information. I'm going to set that right up in the comment area. That's my my contact page. What was I going to say? Go ahead, Tracy. I'm not looking for a deal.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I popped in and like halfway through the conversation, so I wasn't sure.
Oh no!
What your take is on everything. So
look, and I get a Social Security check every month. I have over 30 years experience in the printing industry. I love to write. I don't get paid for that though. And 30 years experience in the printing industry, you're going to want to take your Social Security early, which is what I did. Yeah. I've been involved with a number of HOA promotions, and I also have been involved in network marketing. So I like network marketing, but unfortunately, when you use that hashtag MLM, it scares a lot of people that we are going to con you into getting into something, and hopefully we're not about that right now.
You know, Scott, I don't think that should be something that we should focus on. And Kimberly, you probably agree too. That you can't worry about. I mean, Paul Meyer, the guy that started the Success Motivation Institute, I worked with them for like 3 years. He said, you just, I'm paraphrasing, you can't afford in your life to worry about what other people say or think or do, because if you're really trying to get ahead, you're ahead of them probably already. You have to have thoughts that pull you forward rather than, worrying about the back there. I think there's a lot of, Kimberly and I were talking, there's a lot of people they're much more open-minded today than there ever was before, and they're better quality people too. They're the kind of people that you want to be in business with. Right?
Yeah, I could buy that one, because today you have over 10,000 baby boomers that are retiring every day. Mm-hmm. And these are folks, as a rule, don't have the income to retire on. And look, if you can get into a home-based business and make a few bucks a month, that's going to make a big difference with lots of people today. So if I can squeeze in some kind of market, whether it be healthcare or wellness or travel or any of these markets, and make a few extra bucks, I'm listening.
I think there's a really big specialized
the point we were talking a little bit earlier is that you need to, I hesitate to use the word, but you might be more beneficial in focusing on the service or product that people are going to want to buy versus where we're going to make a few extra bucks. I'm interested to hear from you, Scott, why Social Security isn't enough, and how many people are moving to Social Security are going to need something like networking.
You ask me why I don't think Social Security is enough to retire on? Is that the question, Art? Did you hear? I didn't hear that.
I think that's what she said. In my opinion, the answer is, first of all, it was never really intended to be. I think, a lot of people, the educational system, and then the people who espouse Plan A, they never knew what they were talking about in the first place. I mean, it's like letting an idiot give you advice. They just want you to do the same, to make the same lousy decisions that they made. I mean, people who've made it in life, they've always been contrarians.
I wonder if there's some, that's probably why I have on my license plate is I zig. I zig when you zag.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
Tracy, I just don't think I don't want to get into specifics, but based on my lifestyle, what my Social Security check amounts to isn't going to cover it, period. Now, I do have some 609,
409
Roth IRAs, and then I have some other money that I salted away over the years, but Social Security in and of itself is just not going to cut it.
No, I couldn't live off of Social Security if that's what I had. If that was my only source of income, I would definitely be looking towards network marketing, direct sales as something that I could definitely do on the side.
And unfortunately, a lot of these baby boomers, including myself, we tried the Amway route. We tried the Herbalife deal or the New Skin, and many of us just bellied up and failed at it. We quit. And having said that, I'm going to post a link here in the commenting. I'm doing a blab this afternoon with a good friend of mine out in Nebraska. We're going to talk about folks that gave up on their MLMs, and we're going to talk about what now, because it doesn't take away from the circumstance that you need extra money.
Right.
The problem still exists, yeah.
So I think with our industry, I think there needs to be more of a professional training from more intense training. I think there's a lot of companies out there that have decent training, but I think it could be more intense, more business focused. Yes.
Tracy, I'd like to interject a comment there. I think that one of the reasons why the industry needs to do different things today is because our consumer, that is the consumer of our total package, which is an opportunity package and a product package, because our consumer is different. And what makes our consumer different today is that people aren't as innocent as they used to be. And it's the internet that has done that. It's too easy for a person to go on to check all these social media sites and Yelp and the BBB and stuff like that, and instantly know stuff that in years past, in the early days of Amway or Melaleuca or No Run Pantyhose that Kimberly used to do. Although I think there's nothing like a nice filled pair of No Run Pantyhose, but people, you can't get away with the same spiel that you used to be able to. So the companies that survive in the future are going to be companies that have a product that a person can be proud to sell in a professional way. But companies, I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but Avon is one of the original members of the Direct Selling Association. But about 2 years ago, they dropped out. Mm-hmm. And what they basically said was they felt that the DSA was not serving the greater interest of the industry. And a little bit before Avon dropped out, Tupperware, which I have a tremendous amount of respect for party plans. I think there's nothing more fun than sharing something that you're exciting about with other people that appreciate it. But the industry they got into this recruiting mode. And in the original days of the DSA, all the original members, most of them were very anti the whole idea of MLM. But of course, they've been turned by the dark side. And you're seeing that. I mean, look at the trouble Vima's in, the trouble that Herbalife seems to have avoided. But it's still a big problem in the business. The hype that they use and they don't train people to sell the product, either because they know that their product's too expensive and they know that people wouldn't buy it if they weren't. What they're basically doing is buying their commission level. Companies like Melaleuca have good product. I have another friend who's very big with Shackley, has been for years. She always builds the relationship first. And I think Kimberly probably is a person like that too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And any company. I mean, I don't want to make this all about any particular company, but I think as far as you're looking at a business that you want to jump into, that's certainly one of the things is whether that product could stand alone in the marketplace and two, look at how you make your money. Is it all on recruiting, or is there a good substantial portion of that based on your sales?
Mm-hmm. I think people need to approach it like a business, because you look at what all the a lot. I mean, almost even Amazon has an affiliate program, and Vima apparently tried, at least on the surface, they tried to say that they were an affiliate company. They changed from the distributor tag, right? They think maybe they called it brand ambassador or something. But apparently they weren't doing something right, because the FTC still scooped down on them. But there's not much difference between an affiliate. I mean, for years, people have been saying, well, no, it's not MLM. It's kind of like a franchise. And that's all a franchise is. It's a system. But the point is, when you buy a franchise, legally, those companies, they're in super hot water if they don't show you the, I forget the term for it, but in those, the offering statement, they have to give you a little booklet that shows all about the company and where it's domiciled and what percentage of people make money in the franchise and stuff. And that's why people historically paid big money for McDonald's franchises and all those other name brands, is because they knew they were going to make money. But MLM got away from that, and they started selling based on hype. But it's not going to work. It doesn't work now as much as it used to.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The hype needs to definitely be toned down.
Yeah.
And it needs to be more of a focus on the consumer, or I think there's definitely two different markets in our industry, and it's the consumer and the business builders. And
there's nothing wrong with selling if you got a system. The thing that kills people in selling is the attitude wear and tear. And that's why I think what Kimberly was talking about, she said that it's important that a person pick the right company. And that's one of the things that when I get Ed back, Ed has a lot of experience in the business, and he's in another company for a very specific reason, because of the niche that they're in. And he has a lot of good points to make. But I had a mobile windshield repair business. And every day I would put on my Dickies pants, using the dark gray, and a cheap a white shirt, from Walmart. And I would go into an office building in Houston. I would go up to the top floor. I'd get out of the elevator. I'd turn right. I'd go in the first door, and I'd walk in. I'd say, "Hi, my name's Art Williams. I'd like to be your ding doctor." The name of my business was Ding Doctor. And a ding is those little things on the windshield. And I had a product that I knew that everybody either needed right then, and they didn't know that most insurance companies waive the deductible, so they didn't know they could get it for free. Or if I made a good impression on them, they were going to remember me, and they were going to pick up my little yellow card that was like 3x4, and they were going to remember me. And I survived for many years in that business, because that's all I did. Is my job was to go around and plant seeds. "Hi, my name's Art Williams. I'd like to be your ding doctor." You do? You have one? "Oh, it doesn't cost anything. You didn't know that?" And, blah, blah, blah.
right.
Would you walk around with a little white coat?
No, it was too hot. Not in Houston, brother. It was too damn hot. I used to tell people, once you start sweating, it's just like taking a bath.
So why are you broadcasting from Colombia?
I came to Colombia because of the music. I almost married a girl here once, and it was always just kind of my dream to come back. I kind of thought that I might get married again. Actually, though, after I came here, because that's why I went back to Houston, I learned to dance. And I got into salsa, and then bachata, and then cha-cha, and then took some kizomba, and I just love to dance. It's what I love. I was a music major in college. And it's been really disappointing. Single girls don't go out here. They go out in groups sometime with their buddies, but it's a city that's full of music. You can walk down the street. If you've never heard of a dance called Vallenato, Vallenato, it's a beautiful dance. It's so happy. It's kind of like bachata. And there's just music every place. But it boggles my mind to walk by some place and see people sitting on their ass and not dancing. I mean, I would be up dancing. But anyway,
So you ended up in Colombia, and it was so great down there, you decided to stay.
Well, you can only stay so long. Actually, I'm going to have to leave here in the next few weeks. I'm probably going to go to Ecuador and stay for two and a half months, 3 months.
Cinca or what's
Cuenca?
Cuenca, yes.
Cuenca, C-A. Yeah. No, I'm not going there. It's not really as inexpensive as they say it is. I'm probably going to Quito, because I hear they have a bigger salsa scene there. I'd like to stay here, but I can come back next year.
So I heard they made it easier to get citizenship in Ecuador right now, or to stay for a long period of time. Is that true?
Well, I'm not an expert. I think it is. Now, in my case, I'm probably a lot of these countries. Kimberly, you're smiling. A lot of these countries, you can stay. Typically, they'll give you a 90-day visa, and then you can extend once. So that's. I mean, frankly, I think Jesus is coming any day soon. So I really don't have a real strong long-term view on life. But I do want to dance more before he does.
We have someone here in the room. I don't know her name, but she has the handle Sunday Social, and she wants my seat.
Okay.
I offered her my seat. She's okay with that. So okay. I don't like to hog up the space, and I think the more folks getting into these blabs, the better it is. Again, in parting, I'd like to invite everyone to jump in and to subscribe to a blab that I will be producing today, along with a friend of mine who lives out in Nebraska, Joe Sweeney. And on that, I'm going to head out. Nice meeting everyone, and have a great afternoon. The link to that blab is over there.
Another maybe 10 minutes anyway, okay, Scott? So I appreciate your contribution, buddy.
All right, good to meet you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So Kimberly said up there, another thing to look for is training, and I think that's a really good point. One of the things that I look for when looking for a new opportunity is to align myself with somebody that has the same values or work ethic as I do, and maybe actually a little bit stronger work ethic than I do, to help push me along the way as well. So it's not always about the product. I mean, it's always about the product, but it's who you align yourself with is real important as well.
Well, you can always find them, but you don't have to have the very best product in any industry to make money at it. I mean, that's just part of the free enterprise system. If you're in a big market where people have got money, there's always going to be some people that like Melaleuca, Melaleuca, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the seat. I was just, my name is Martin. I'm based in the UK. So any guys listening in the UK. And I've just been interested to understand the differences over here in Europe. Multi-level marketing's taken off quite well. We've been in the business, or I've been in the business with my wife now for 5 years. We started with the proposition, like most people, you buy your kit or your box or whatever, you subscribe. The company that we are with is actually an American company that's doing quite well. It's in the health and nutrition marketplace.
Who is it?
Forever Living. Forever Living? Yeah, Forever Living products, aloe vera products.
Essential oils?
Essential oils is our latest.
I don't know much about that. Kimberly probably does.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been marketing this product now for 5 years. We've been quite successful at it. And I was interested to understand, in regards to training and offering a proposition where it's not based purely on recruiting. We found, especially in Europe, that because we have a lot of hoops to jump through, what constitutes pyramid selling, etc., we find it's better to have a product. So obviously the coaching is more around selling the product. As long as the product stands upon itself, whether it's pricier than Holland and Barrett or whatever, things are that you can get in the high street. As long as the product stands up, the whole influence is to make money from selling the product rather than from recruiting. Yes, business builders, you can do that and you can be quite successful, but it's got to be about the product. And we found that as long as you've got a viable, tangible product to offer, then you can make a success of this business. I think the hang-ups with what we've heard over here in regards to Herbalife and to Vima and the issues that they're having now, doesn't necessarily translate across over here, across the pond, because, you know, companies like that, it would just kill our business over here straight away.
Well, there's going to be repercussions, and Kimberly, tell me if you agree. There's going to be repercussions. I mean, if you're in a ship, I mean, I don't care if you're 5 miles or 50 miles from somebody else. When a rock falls off the shore there, and even if you're, you know, off the coast of Dover, for example, even if you're out in the middle of the Atlantic, that wave is going to reach you. Yeah, and that's one of the things. You know, we're all rising tide floats all boats, and, you know, lowering tide, you know, has an effect on the boats too.
Yeah, we're worried. I think
Definitely.
we're worried over here because we haven't got that, as you say, that effect yet, and not very many people know about it so much. So I'm slightly perturbed as to what the net effect is going to happen over here. You know, especially as we spent 5 years building a very successful and a very viable and a credible business as well. We consider ourselves business people. We don't. We stand head and shoulders with any businessman out there. You know, we believe we have a better way of doing things, and you know, we don't, as you say, we don't carry stock and we don't do all the bits and pieces a traditional business does. But we do have a viable business.
Yeah, Kimberly, I want to ask you something, please. Melaleuca has essential oils.
We just came out with them in May of this year. I mean, we've been using them forever in our products, so now we're offering them as a product line that we sell as well.
Well, I wonder if you wouldn't mind, and then what is your name, sir?
My name's Martin.
Martin. Yeah. Would you explain to me, because when I think of essential oils, for one thing, I think of a small bottle that costs a lot. But can you tell me what an essential oil is?
I have some.
Are you asking me or Martin?
No, Kimberly.
Oh, sorry, Kimberly.
Okay.
That's right. You're next, bro.
No problem. I'm sure you can be on this too, Martin. So essential oils can be distilled down from the plant in a few different ways. It just depends on the plant on exactly how that's done. But basically, a drop of essential oil is many times the potency of, like, if you had the leaf of the actual plant, for example. So it's just a way of distilling the plant down into a usable form. Essential oils are extremely powerful. You need to get your essential oils from a reputable company. Do your homework, because what you buy in the store versus what you can get from a reputable company can be vastly different in the way that it's manufactured. And you can go, there's a website called aromaweb.com, I think is the website, aromaweb.com. And they've got some great articles on how to choose your essential oil company that you're working with. And they're not affiliated with any particular essential oils company, which is what I love about them.
How many different kinds of essential oils, roughly, would you say there are?
As many as there are plants, I suppose. Okay. I think the companies that I'm aware of, we've just begun, so we've got about little under 30. But I believe there's companies out there that have 50 plus different essential oils that they offer. So it's just a matter of taking any plant and distilling it down. That's beneficial use.
A question for you, sir. How do people use essential oils? Are they topical, or do people ingest them?
Well, the essential oils that we use are topical or can be used via a diffuser. So I'm just trying to see if I have one here. I don't have a diffuser here. We've recently launched essential oils. I think back in June. The company started to use them and offer them on our product line, and they seem to be going okay. I mean, there's different smells and stuff that suit people's moods, and you can use them topically as well. And you know, as a new product to our range, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it meshes with everything else. I mean, I think with most companies, they're always trying to stay ahead of the curve and keep up with the trends and stuff like that. And I think Forever is no different in trying to get into this marketplace as well, you know?
Yeah. How Kimberly, you're welcome to for some input here too. For the bottles that they sell, regardless of, I know they're just small. How much of that product does the average consumer use? How fast do they consume it? Because in any business, of course, you want your product to be consumable so that people buy some more later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the oil for sure. There's some oils that are like 100, or depending on the company that you go with, could be as high as $200 a bottle. And those you want to be a little more sparing with. And then there's essential oils that are, $8 a bottle. But things like lemon oil, the tea tree oil, peppermint oil, lavender oil, those are oils you could use on a daily basis for a variety of different needs. So those will go a lot faster than, say, your frankincense, which is one of my favorite oils, which you're going to spend upwards of, $40, $50 to $200 a bottle for.
What do people use frankincense for? Because obviously I know that's mentioned in the Bible.
Frankincense is great for an immune booster. It's great if you're into like energy healing or just understanding the energies of the body. It's very grounding. So it can make you feel settled if you're like mind is spinning, that sort of thing. Grounding.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, Kimberly, I know that you have another agenda today, and I wanted to keep this under an hour so I can get it on YouTube without them asking me, you haven't verified your account yet, again. So let's just say adios, and I appreciate everybody that was here. If you want to send me an email, I'm going to put my email address in here. I'm going to put it anyway. See, it's expatflipper@gmail.com. If you want to send me a link or an email or a DM, I'll send you the link, which I'll be getting pretty soon here. And you're welcome to have some fun with the archive. Okay. Martin, thanks very much, brother.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Let's keep in touch, and maybe we can, if we can figure out an interesting agenda. Maybe we'll do one with you.
Definitely. I mean, I didn't know if you covered it when I bumped in, but a lot of our success over here is been the use of social media and how that's integrated into network marketing and how that has, in fact, it's massively helped us. It's a major part of what we do. So I'll be just interested to find out if other guys use social media, how they integrate it into their business, if they find it's a hindrance, whether it's a time waster or whether it's a real way of opening their networks up.
I think it's the latter. Yeah, it's B. Because
but
we were talking about the old way to do it, with the inviting people to meetings and then not telling them what it is, and you've got to build a relationship first. If we do a blab, Martin, what I'd like to do, of course, I don't know if you know both sides of the coin, but I'd like to see if we can elaborate on some of the differences between Eurocentric network marketing and Yank network marketing. I think that would be an interesting topic for anybody, especially if somebody is going to stay in the industry, because most people in the industry at some point they want to go international, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Well, I'm going to say bye. Kimberly, thanks again, and Martin, have a good day, brother.
And you, my friend.